Imagine owning the only private home that legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright ever designed in Florida. But here's the kicker. It might slip away forever due to skyrocketing restoration costs. Right now, an extraordinary piece of American architectural heritage sits quietly in Tallahassee, waiting for its next chapter. The Spring House, Wright's singular residential masterpiece in the Sunshine State, has just hit the real estate market with a $2.13 million price tag. And honestly, that might be the bargain of the century for what you're getting. But here's where it gets controversial. Should priceless architectural treasures like this remain in private hands, or does society have a responsibility to preserve them as public heritage sites? Nestled within 10 lush wooded acres, this remarkable dwelling represents something truly special in Wright's extensive portfolio. Completed back in 1954, it holds the distinction of being the very first of only two pod-shaped residences the master architect ever conceived during his illustrious career, according to official records from the Frank Lloyd Wright Foundation. The house earned its poetic name from a natural spring that bubbles nearby, and when you first glimpse its silhouette, you'll immediately understand why people say it resembles a graceful ship sailing through the forest canopy. Those signature sweeping arcs that define Wright's later work create the home's living spaces in the most organic, flowing manner imaginable. What makes this property even more fascinating is its connection to Wright's hemicycle architectural philosophy, a design approach he was perfecting during the same period he was working on New York's world-famous Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. Think about that for a moment. This Florida home shares DNA with one of the most celebrated buildings in modern architecture. The hemicycle concept isn't just architectural jargon. It's pure genius in practice. Picture semicircular floor plans wrapped behind stunning curved glass walls that invite the sun to dance across your living spaces from dawn to dusk. It's like living inside a sundial, but infinitely more comfortable. And this is the part most people miss when they hear about Wright's work. The man was obsessed with natural materials and authentic craftsmanship. Spring House showcases this philosophy beautifully through its combination of robust concrete blocks and warm cypress wood paneling, materials that have stood the test of time for 7 decades. Step inside this 2,000 square foot wonder, and you're immediately struck by the open floor plan's breathtaking simplicity. A built-in bench curves along an entire wall, practically begging you to sit down and soak in the panoramic forest views. Meanwhile, an upstairs balcony peers down over the main living area, creating a sense of vertical drama that's enhanced by the double-height glass wall flooding both levels with natural light. Crown it all with a strategically placed skylight, and you've got illumination that changes with every passing cloud. 2 curved concrete block fireplaces anchor the design, one gracing the main living area, another warming the master bedroom. These aren't just heating elements. They're sculptural statements that demonstrate Wright's belief that every functional element should also be beautiful. The rust-red concrete floors on the ground level add an unexpected pop of earthy color that somehow makes the entire space feel more intimate despite its grand scale. The story behind this architectural gem adds another layer of intrigue. Back in 1950, Clifton Lewis, wife of influential local banker George Lewis II, commissioned Wright to create something special while he was already in the area designing the campus for Florida Southern College. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. But here's where things get emotional and, frankly, a little heartbreaking. The Lewis family, who has been the faithful steward of this irreplaceable home for over 70 years, is now facing a difficult decision. The costs of properly restoring and maintaining a house of this historical significance have become overwhelming. 7 decades of Florida's intense weather, think hurricanes, humidity, and relentless sunshine, have taken their toll on even Wright's masterful construction. This raises some uncomfortable questions that every architecture lover should be asking. At what point does the financial burden of preserving architectural history become too much for private owners? Should there be public funding available for maintaining homes of such cultural importance? And perhaps most controversially, is $2.13 million actually enough for a one-of-a-kind Wright residence? Or does this pricing reflect our society's undervaluation of architectural heritage? Considering that Wright's other residential works have sold for significantly higher amounts, and given that this is literally the only example of his work available for private ownership in an entire state, some experts argue the asking price is almost insultingly low. The 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom layout might sound modest by today's McMansion standards. But remember, this isn't about square footage. It's about owning a piece of American architectural DNA. A tangible connection to one of history's most influential creative minds. What do you think? Should architectural treasures like Springhouse be preserved at any cost, even if it means public acquisition? Or is it perfectly acceptable for private families to make tough financial decisions about maintaining these properties? And honestly, if you had $2,113,000 burning a hole in your pocket, would you take on the responsibility of being the next guardian of Frank Lloyd Wright's Florida legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious whether you see this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity or a beautiful but financially daunting responsibility that's better left to institutions with deeper pockets.